Hi, it's Tintin the Navigator, and today is the 2022 Anunnaki Code, the end of the world and their return to Earth. And I'm going to start with chapter 23, question 23. Do the Anunnaki speak or understand our languages? The answer: languages on Earth. All our spoken languages derive directly from extraterrestrial languages, and all terrestrial languages derive from the Phoenician alphabet. Many of the Phoenician linguists and early creators of their alphabet borrowed numerous words and expressions from the higher class of Anunnaki. Ancient Phoenician texts and poems recorded on tablets found in Tyre, Sidon, Ugarit, Mah-Rit, and the island of Arwad include reference to symbols and words taken from the written language of the upper class of the Anunnaki. The first genetically created race could not speak, and the concept of language was completely unknown to humans. Thousands of years later, the Anunnaki taught the new race of humans how to speak, read, and write. Members of the early Anunnaki expedition to Phoenicia taught the Phoenicians how to create their language and revealed to them the secret powerful names and attributes of Bala Shamrut. They instructed them not to use the words for ill purposes, particularly the word Balizam ar-il is never to be said, spelled, or written. Later on in history, the Hebrews religiously observed this instruction, and pronouncing the word of the name of God became forbidden. The language of the Anunnaki was taught to the early Phoenicians who lived in the ancient cities of Tyre, Sidon, Bablos, Afka, and Batrun. Phoenicia borrowed her alphabet from the Anunnaki. The seven powerful names and attributes of the Anunnaki's grand leader were given to the early Phoenicians in the ritual ceremony in Tyre. Yes, extraterrestrials are capable of speaking and understanding many languages, including our own. They assimilate and compute words and sentences with mathematical formulas and numerical values. Some extraterrestrials have limited vocal cord capabilities, but they can very quickly acquire additional vocal facilities by rewinding sounds and vibes. Contrary to what many contactees and others said, extraterrestrials from higher dimensions do not talk like computerized machines. They have their own language, but also they can absorb and assimilate all the languages on the earth in the blink of an eye via the reception and emission of a spatial memory. At first, the voice of an alien from a higher dimension sounds like an old record that was played at the wrong speed, fast, squeaky scratching. Then the sound adjusts itself and the voice becomes a normal human voice, a very pleasant human voice. Many of the Anunnaki's letters cannot be pronounced by Westerners because of the limitation of their vocal cords. Anunnaki's language used by Americans. The American top military scientists who work in secret military bases and aliens laboratories on Earth have an extraterrestrial lexicon and use it consistently. In that lexicon or dictionary, you will find variations of Phoenician and Sumerian symbols. Some letters represent maritime and celestial symbols and measurements. The fact that the Americans are still using the extraterrestrial language should be enough to convince you that the U.S. deals with extraterrestrials and Zeta Reticuli descendants live it among us. Otherwise, why would they learn a language that cannot be used to communicate with people who speak it and write it? On some of the manifestos of military parts used in anti-gravity secret laboratories underground in the United States, several letters were borrowed from the Enuma Elish of Samaria and regularly appeared on the top right corner of each document. In the 80s, those Sumerian numbers were replaced by the Americanized version. Military personnel at the other military bases in Mexico, Australia, and underwater in the Pacific do not use an extraterrestrial lexicon. The original language of the Anunnaki is still intact and is currently being used by top American scientists and researchers who work in secret American alien military bases in the United States and Mexico. In 1947, the first attempt was made by American linguists who previously worked at the OSS precursor to the CIA, to decipher it. They tried to compare it with the Sumerian, Hebrew, Armenian, and Phoenician alphabet, languages which are directly derived from the Anunnaki's written language. The problem they faced and could not resolve were the geometrical symbols included in the written Anunnaki's texts. But in 1956, they cracked down the puzzle. Those mathematical figures hold great secrets regarding an alien advanced technology used for peaceful and constructive purposes. The American military intelligence and what's left from the Dr. Fermi's group at Los Alamos wanted to use this alien technology for military purposes. The Anunnaki have two kinds of styles or languages. One is spoken and the other one is written. The spoken language is the easiest one to learn, and it is used by the Anunnaki's population. The written one is exclusively used in books and consists with 26 letters. 7 of these letters represent the planets that surround their planet. Chapter 24. What is the Anunnaki liquid light? The answer. The liquid light is an Anunnaki electroplasma substance that appears like luminous water substance, and it is called Me.nou-Ra Shams. In Anunnaki language, Me.nou-Ra means the following: Nu or Nor, or sometimes Menor, representing light. It has the same meaning in many Semitic languages. Shams means sun. The Ummah in Egypt, Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon use the same word in their opening ceremony. Sometimes the word Nor becomes Nar, which means fire. This is intentional because of the Ummah. Like the Phoenicians, believed in fire as a symbolic procedure to purify the thoughts. This created the word Me.nou-Ra, meaning the enlightened or surrounded with light. If you know any Hebrew, you might remember that menorah means a lamp. It is all connected. Later, the Illuminati used it as well. Chapter 25, question 25. What is Mah-Rit? Is it Anunnaki steroids? The answer. Mah-Rit is humanity's early form or formula of what we call today steroids, an early genetic product created by the Anunnaki in the ancient Phoenician city of Mah-Rit in Syria, co-built by the remnants of the Anunnaki and early Phoenicians from Tyre and Sidon. Mah-Rit is one of the most puzzling, mysterious, and enigmatic cities in recorded history. It was the stage for the cosmic war between many ancient nations, the birth of the Olympiads, and the world's first Anunnaki Phoenician medical center. But recent archaeological excavations on the island of Arwad revealed that it is an island that gave birth to the Olympiads and not Mah-Rit, as it was suggested by historians. Mah-Rit was first used by Inanna when she created the first 7 prototypes of the human race. Phoenicians used Mah-Rit quite often. It was supplied by the priests of god Melkart. Chapter 26, question 26. What is the Anunnaki Me.nou-Ra? The answer. Menor, or Me.nou-Ra, is a sort of light, plasma laser used by the Anunnaki to purify the body and thoughts. All Anunnaki students entering the classroom in an Anunnaki academy must purify their bodies and minds. The purification exercise occurs inside a small room entirely made of shimmering white marble. In the middle of the room, there is a basin made of the same material and filled with a substance called Me.nou-Ra Shams, an electroplasmic substance that appears like liquid light. It actually means in Anunnaki, the liquid of light. Nur, or Nur, or sometimes Menor, or Me.nou-Ra, means light. Shams means sun. Noor in Arabic means light. The Ummah in Egypt, Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon use the same word in their opening ceremony. Sometimes the word Noor means Nar, which means fire. This is intentional because the Ummahs, like the Phoenicians, believed in fire as a symbolic procedure to purify the thoughts. And this concludes chapters 23 through 26.